Not exactly the best kept secret, but Chelsea finally have their man in goal, Edouard Mendy, coming over from Rennes to join the London club. 28-year-old Senegalese international. Back with us to discuss, Frank Leboeuf, Steve Nicol. Frank, on yesterday's show, Xhaka was saying, and he is our resident goalie expert, take a minute. Let this guy get a couple weeks. Learn everybody's names before you throw him into the starting lineup. Do you agree?
Yeah, I followed what Xhaka said. You know, it's true that when you come to another club, and especially a club from another country, you know, you have to learn the automatic words that you have to say, like keeper, like get out, like some words that you have to say very quickly, and it has to become automatic. So I don't know if he can learn that in a week, in 10 days, in 3 weeks. But I don't agree with Xhaka. I think if he's a great goalkeeper, he has to go straight away. We know that Kepa is out and he has to leave the club. Caballero did some saves against Barnsley, so maybe deserved to play the next game. But I think Mendy has to come very quickly. I mean, Lampard doesn't trust either Caballero or Kepa, so Mendy should be the saver. And because Thiago Silva is coming to play now after his good game against Barnsley, and some others are coming back as well, I think it's time for Chelsea to have the best of the best. And Mendy, according to the fact that Chelsea bought him, is the best goalkeeper, and he has to play for me.
Stevie, from like a manager perspective, I guess it comes down to how desperate you are. Would you let Caballero handle it for another week, or would you go Mendy now if you were Frank Lampard?
Absolutely go Mendy. Listen, the guy's been playing, so he's sharp. It's not as if he's not played any games. And remember, it's West Brom. So, quite frankly, he's probably not going to have that much to do. I think absolutely you get him in. Listen, why wouldn't you? It makes no sense. You don't like either of the goalkeepers you've got. And as I said, it's West Brom. You get him in straight away. And I've got to, Shaq's going to rue the day he ever said he needs to know their names. Well, guess what? When they stand in front of him, the names are on the back of the jersey, so he can see them pretty clearly who it is. So, no, absolutely, you get him in. You play him 100%.
Frank, let's stick with Chelsea and actually your old position. Antonio Rudiger looks to be on his way out. Of all the center halves that Chelsea have, is that the player that you'd be moving on from if you were Lampard?
It's a hard choice for Frank because, yes, Thiago Silva is coming in and he has like 4 or 5, I guess 5 centre halves, so he has to make a choice and make sure that one of them will go. It's very strange because I read in an article that, according to Sky, that Rudiger has been offered in April, last April, 3 more years, where his contract is normally ending in 2022. So it would have gone until 2025, and now they want to get rid of him. Very strange. But at the same time, I read also that Paris Saint-Germain, maybe Rome, or maybe Barcelona will be interested about getting Rudiger. Rudiger is a good defender. He had some issues, you know, technically to put the ball out, to give good balls to midfielders, make some silly mistakes. Got a lot injured as well since he signed in 2017. So it's a choice from Lampard. I mean, keeping Tomori, maybe putting him on loan. He's young, and that can justify, you know, his choice. Where Rudiger is going to be 28. And showed that maybe he was at the max. And Chelsea needs a bigger, stronger centre half. So Kurt Zouma seems to be the other choice with Thiago Silva. Christensen showed he was good the first game before being sent off. So you know, sometimes you have to bet on some players and some others you have to let them go. And I'm sure Rudiger wouldn't accept as a German international to be not even on the bench at Stamford Bridge every time they play.
Stevie, seems like every time we talk Chelsea on this show, the one weakness that we point to is center half. Is Rudiger a player that you'd get rid of?
Well, if you're not going to play him, with the experience he has, he's not going to be a happy camper. And I was going to say, not happy sitting on the bench. He's not even sitting on the bench. So, listen, the ideal scenario would be to sell him and get a good price for him. If you can't do that, then get him out on loan. That's what they're talking about, getting him out on loan. And I would, certainly as a coach, I would prefer to have a guy who's not happy, not in the building. And even sending them out on loan, they'll get money. They'll get them off the wage bill, and they might get a few million for the period of the loan. And then guess what? You never know. He might do really well wherever he goes, and maybe that'll bump his price up if eventually they can sell him. But to have an experienced guy like that, kicking around the dressing room, kicking around the stadium, not involved, it's a bad situation for everybody all round. So regardless of how it is, whether it's a transfer or a loan, he'd be better off not there. Because quite clearly, Frank's not playing him. Frank doesn't rate him any higher than the rest of the players he has. So I think having him around the place would maybe. I know the guy's supposed to be a real good pro, but you know what? I don't care who you are. When you're sitting kicking your heels, all that frustration builds up. So he's better off not there.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.